Good afternoon. To establish a good flow of the event, everyone is reminded to observe the following house rules. Everyone is expected to keep their audio on mute and put your questions or issues that you want to raise in the comment section and kindly wait for the host to acknowledge your concerns. Thank you. would like to remind everyone to keep their audio on mute and use the comment section should you have any questions or concerns. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The SPARTA online roadshow for BARMM-MHSD will start in 1 minute. Thank you. To formally start our event today, let us put ourselves in the loving presence of the Lord as we start with an opening prayer to be led by Mr. Adan A. Abdullah, IRA officer, to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem and the BARMM hymn.
Recording in progress.
Again, may I call on Mr. Adan A. Abdullah to start us with an opening prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SPARTA online roadshow for BARMM Ministry of Human Settlements and Development with our hosts, SPARTA Marketing and Promotions Component Lead, Ms. Roxy Makasait.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to the SPARTA Online Roadshow for the BARMM Ministry of Human Settlements and Development. I'm Roxy Makasad, and I'm very excited about what is in store for all of us this afternoon. So on behalf of Project Sparta, I would like to warmly welcome everyone who was able to join us today via Zoom, and an equally warm welcome to those who are watching us through Facebook and the live stream on YouTube. For today's Roadshow, we aim to identify the significant role of data science and analytics in our lives. We would also like to introduce Project Sparta to our future scholars from the BARMM region and demonstrate the application process in the course bank platform. It is really a jam-packed afternoon for all of us today, so I hope that you could stay with us for the whole duration of the event. And now to officially start our program and to welcome us to today's event, may I ask for your undivided attention to this message from the Chief of Policy and Regulation of the BARMM Ministry of Human Settlements and Development, Mr. Abdul Hamid C. Alawi Jr.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A pleasant morning to each and everyone. My courtesies to our partners from DAP Sparta and of course the employees who are attending this event. I want to give thanks to our employees from MHSD, especially Mr. John Anthony Ocumen for ably coordinating this, and other employees too who have always been at the forefront of continuing this engagement. And because this engagement is very important for all of us, we hope that with these types of activities, our employees will gain more capacities to serve our clients through better data stewardship and data analysis. So could be starting small, but we hope this could roll on to better capacities that we can grow. We can use a seed to grow on with more skills as data enthusiasts. So with that, I would like to formally open and welcome everybody to our event, and we hope that we'll have a very productive orientation for this day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alawi. We would have loved to have you here in person, but a recorded message will suffice. So our first speaker for today will talk about the importance of data science and analytics, how they can be applied to our daily lives, and recognizing the importance of data science to public service and the national target of building up data scientists. Our first speaker is a scholar, writer, and educator in the field of public management, governance, and public policy. He was an economist in the Department of Agrarian Reform, an executive assistant in the Civil Service Commission, and a HR planner in the Government Service Insurance System. He is a faculty and senior fellow at the Graduate School of the Development Academy of the Philippines, the country's think tank and training school for public managers. He was also an executive in the private sector and works as a policy and management consultant to various government agencies. Our speaker obtained his doctorate degree in public administration with the University of the Philippines. He has 2 master's degrees, one specializing in public policy and another in technology management, both from UP Diliman. He has completed his graduate certificate diploma in strategic business economics in the University of Asia and the Pacific, and has an undergraduate degree in philosophy at the Ateneo de Manila University. Grabe, dami niyang ginawa. Ladies and gentlemen, Sparta subject matter expert, Dr. Teodoro Loydon C. Bautista.
Hi, Roxy, can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear your voice and we can see you clearly. So looking forward to your presentation, sir.
Okay. Can you see the presentation now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just wait. Sorry. Okay. Can you see the presentation? Okay.
Yes.
So good afternoon. So this is a good opportunity for us in Sparta to explain to you this particular program. So I've been part of this program since 2 years ago, and we've been doing all sorts of things to be able to provide e-courses to participants, and to scale up data science skills. Just to explain to you the importance of data science and also how significant it is on my personal life. So aside from the fact that I handle policy sciences and public governance classes, I also love teaching statistics in the Ateneo School of Government. This is one of the subject I teach, statistics and public management. And in addition to that, I also teach research methodology. And it just so happened that I was invited by DAP, SPARTA, and BOSD to provide content on data analytics. And every now and then I get invited to sessions such as this to explain what this course is all about and what data science and analytics is and how it is important to our respective lives. So the presentation will just be short. I don't want to take most of your time. This is the outline of the presentation. We'll discuss about the importance of data science and analytics, what is happening out there in the world, and why data science seems to be a very important skills in today's fourth industrial revolution. And then on a personal note, how does data science and analytics apply to my daily work? And then as people in government, especially people from BARMM, how does it help public service and also nation building and also being able to create more data scientists? So I won't read some of parts of the slides, and as I discuss many of these things and sort of explore and explain some of these matters, I just want to point out that in today's world, particularly with the assumption of this new administration, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos, we see a change in the way we look at governance. If you've been closely monitoring what the president wants, he wants to look at evidence-based governance and science-based governance. And I think the underlying reason here is that he looks at our ability to measure things in terms of numbers. And this is the underlying reason why we have technocrats in the field of transportation, public works, health, finance, all of these technocrats, which more or less are not political in their professions and track records, were hired by the president because the president right now believes in the power of data. And I think this is the importance, and you have all of this quotation from Einstein and Lord Kelvin. But I think the importance of data science is we're able to collect, gather, and interpret data and how to use data in a way to make our lives easier. And this is something that is a phenomenon at this point in time because of the swirl and the swat of data in our midst and our ability to extract correlations and patterns and make good decisions. And we have seen that if we are not conscious of data, it bites us. And we've seen that in the COVID-19 pandemic, in the economic recessions that we're experiencing. And a case in point is the absence of food supply in Metro Manila and the spiraling inflation. These are all contribute to the fact that we don't really maximize the use of data, more particular of which in governance. Now, this slides tells you the degree and the velocity and the number of users in terms of social media site. And the last election just highlights the point that social media has practically eclipsed traditional media when it comes to convincing voters, creating impact, and being able to sell products as well. And you have Facebooks with about 2.85 billion users, YouTube with 2.29, and WhatsApp with 2 billion. And just this highlights the point that there is so much information out there that we fail to maximize and use. And as public servants, the call for us right now is to understand the user's experience. And in the case of BARMM, you want to know how you're going to address number one, alleviation of poverty, access to health and housing, the provision of basic social services. All of this can be done, and we want to do so many things, but without data, we can never prioritize what matters more in governance and public administration. And I think that is the power of data science. So there's an increasing demand for data and information. In fact, the way you look at organizations right now, it is less structured, it is more fluid, more diverse than as ever before. And this was actually brought to light by the fourth industrial revolution. And you hear this term fourth industrial revolution, but I think you can synonymously associate it with the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing. All of these state-of-the-art technologies are changing the way we interact, the way we live, the way we function, and the way we work. And you might think, but how is it related to a developing region like BARMM, where access to internet is in fact one of our major concerns? Well, you look at it in terms of opportunities at hand, because noticeably countries that have embraced technology and data and information were able to address many of their basic problems. A case in point would be China. China embraced technology, and about 300 million Chinese were lifted from poverty. And I think this is the power of technology. It levels the entire playing field with so much opportunities out there. In fact, if you talk about access to bandwidth, Tesla right now has satellites up in the clouds where it can actually give you access to bandwidth without necessarily going to duopolistic companies like Globe and Smart or PLDT, which have to create so much capital infrastructure just for you to connect to the internet. So there's so much opportunities out there, and I think data science skills is a disruptor. And I've been encouraging people, even at the primary school, to start learning about data science. And in the fourth bullet, I think it highlights the fact that data information shall be the new oil of our times. And it's happening right now. Now, how do I benefit from data science and analytics? Well, you know, being a data analyst, and I consider myself as a data analyst because aside from the fact that I teach statistics and I teach research methodology, I also get invited by government agency to run big data. And one of the projects that I handled with a certain national agency was I was running as many as 35,000 beneficiaries of a 2.5 billion project where they were given certain subsidies. And the government agency wanted to know, was there really impact in terms of revenues, raising their standards of living? And you get paid a lot. Well, modesty aside, you get paid beyond what the market price would be if you're just an ordinary worker. So data analysts, in fact, pays a lot. For as low as 18,000 to as average of 39,700 to as high as 63,200. And aside from that, data science and data analytics are being used in business to make the right choices, to support a particular product, to hire the right people, to invest in a particular location. These are all benefits that businesses use using data science. In the public sector, which sadly in the Philippines we don't use too much, we can actually do forecasting using linear trend analysis. And we forget the fact that there are so much information out there in different agencies, so much data being collected. We have census, we have the Philippine Statistics Authority, we have NEDA, all of this information are out there. But without the data science and analytical skills, you're unable to interpret and analyze this data and how it's going to contribute in decision making. And I think this is the the downside. I participated in congressional hearings. I've helped legislators defend budgets of national agencies, agencies as big as the Department of Energy, the Department of Social Welfare, the Department of Education. And well, surprisingly, many of the questions that are being asked by our legislators are not data driven, but more parochial, more of the concern of their localities. So we missed the point in coming up with good decision support system. And in the field of public administration, which is sadly something that I guess everybody knows, that every time that there's change in administration, we start all over again. And this is a problem if we don't really have good data science and analytics. So much information are wasted. And this is the idea of knowledge management in public administration. So from one administration to another, all of these institutional memories are lost without this system. And data science is the platform that supports knowledge management. So how do we make use of, and this is where the practical side comes in. We are now on a verge, we are in the cusp of a data-driven workplace, including BARMM. I mean, you cannot say, because we're just a developing region, there are so many things that we have to do. But in fact, there's an opportunity of a region that is just beginning, because now you can really set up and establish the right database management system. And using data science, data analytics and science as a skill, you can actually accelerate this data-driven workplace. The decisions that you make are based on evidence and data. And data analytics, for a lack of a better term, is the science of effective, efficient, and economical administration. And there's so much opportunities and benefits. So I surprisingly, I was also part of a project that assessed the impact of socialized housing. And the project cost about 50 billion. And just a minuscule of that was used in program monitoring and evaluation. And we had to assess the performance of socialized housing in Metro Manila, where I think more than 100,000 families were relocated in different parts of Southern Luzon, particularly Cavite. And we simply had to start off and gather as many data as possible to determine if the project was effective. And I think that was a downside if you don't have good data science practices. You always have to start at the beginning. In the case of BARMM, you have this opportunity now to build the foundation for a data-driven workplace. Now, what is the importance of data science analytics to public service? Well, to be honest with you, data, if it's available, accessible, and affordable at that, makes working government easier. It makes government's business less costly and efficient. And if we really genuinely apply data science and analytics, we're practicing good transparency and accountability. Through what? Through monitoring of performance. We determine which particular office or unit under the housing department of BARMM is really delivering the results. We're not more on the activity that we did, and this is really some of the problems in government. We're measuring the number of houses we built, the number of schools we've constructed, the health center. We're more driven on activities rather than the impact of those activities. And this is the power of data science and analytics. You have certain data sets that are non-structured, and you can actually extract them and be able to come up with a good findings and then divert resources to where it's actually needed. And you're very adaptive and agile to the things that are transpiring. And this was the reason why during the COVID-19 pandemic, government was unable to respond properly because it did not have the data to support many of its decisions. So we become responsive in the delivery of services, and particular of which is we are actually practicing good governance. And this is how powerful the role of data is in a developing startup like the Bangsamoro region for Muslim Mindanao. You have so much opportunity not to start all over again the way we did in many of our projects, but already build a foundation for a data-driven type of organization. Okay, so finally, in hindsight, we have this McKinsey Global Institute report that says that about 1/5 of the global workforce will be impacted by the fourth industrial revolution, particular of which would be artificial intelligence and automation. And this impact will cut across not only developed nations, but also emerging markets like the Philippines, India, you also have Malaysia and Thailand, and then by 2022, in today's time, 50% of many companies will believe that automation will decrease their numbers of full-time staff. And by 2030, robots will replace 800 million workers. So what does it tell us? Well, in the coming years, things will be very disruptive. And the acquisition of data science and analytics as a skill set becomes a shield for you to be able to not only survive, but thrive in this new environment. So I would strongly suggest that you consider enrolling in data science and analytics because, number one, it is very practical, it is very responsive to the changes in the times, and more importantly, it can really contribute to lifting up and improving the delivery of public services in the BARMM region. With that, Roxy, I end my discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Lloyd. Thank you for sharing everything you know. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. In the next part of the program, we will learn about Project SPARTA, its pathways, and micro-specialization pathways. May I ask for your undivided attention to this audio-visual presentation.
This is a brief overview of the Project Smarter Philippines through data analytics R&D, training and adoption, or what we commonly know as SPARTA. SPARTA is a 3-year project implemented by the Development Academy of the Philippines, or DAP, in partnership with the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, the DOST Shared Analytics Association of the Philippines, and Course Bank. The framework on this screen shows the SPARTA rationale with 3 components, namely the DSA workforce, ready datasets, and research and development. First, SPARTA aims to capacitate our country's workforce by upskilling and reskilling them through our scholarship grant and online data science and analytics pathways and courses. Second, SPARTA intends to foster the sharing of open datasets by partnering with different organizations across the country to contribute readily available datasets that can be used by our scholars in developing innovative R&D projects. And lastly, SPARTA aims to guide our scholars in the development of data-driven R&D projects that can help in the development of our country and address its current and future problems. This next slide talks about the 2 SPARTA components: knowledge democratization and activation and engagement. Knowledge democratization's goal is to enable SPARTA's DSA courses to be accessed by the Filipino workforce. These courses are self-paced, so they can be taken at the most convenient time and pace by the scholars. The lead cooperating agency in this component is Course Bank, or MOOCs PH Incorporated. On the other hand, activation and engagement's objective revolves around the creation of an ecosystem that will foster DSA projects through workshops and events. The lead cooperating agency in this component is the Analytics Association of the Philippines. Delving further, the knowledge democratization has 3 objectives, which are creating online courses, training and graduating learners, and institutionalizing the courses. As of February 16 of this year, we now have 28 released courses and a bonus course sponsored by the PCOO FOI Project Management Office entitled FOI 101 or the Freedom of Information and Introduction. These DSA courses can be accessed through the course bank platform and are plotted into 6 different tracks or pathways. Originally, there were only 5 learning pathways, but a new pathway was developed to cater Filipinos who have insufficient knowledge in data science and analytics through the Data Associate pathway. On the other hand, the Data Scientist pathway, which is the most advanced pathway, has the most number of courses offered. And aside from their core and elective courses, all learning pathways require a capstone project as their final requirement. Let us further explain each pathway. The Data Associate pathway is intended for beginners who don't have prior knowledge or experience in data science and analytics. This is the program's very basic pathway, mainly composed of 6 courses. The Data Steward pathway develops learners' competencies in data governance to equip them with the necessary skills needed to control and improve data quality, oversee data technology and infrastructure, and ensure compliance with rules, regulations, and ethical practice. The Data Analyst pathway equips learners with competencies needed to leverage reporting, data analysis, and modeling techniques to solve problems and gather insight across functional domains. The Analytics Manager pathway trains learners to oversee analytical operations, communicate insights to executives, and translate analytical results to actionable business items. The Data Engineer pathway allows scholars to develop skills for the proper management of the data lifecycle, from ingestion, processing, surfacing, and storage. The last pathway, which is the Data Scientist track, trains scholars to apply their expertise in statistics, machine learning, and programming to make predictions and answer key business questions. The project also offers micro-specialization pathways. These are shorter learning tracks focused on equipping scholars with the right knowledge and skill sets for a specific DSA discipline that may or may not be discussed in their chosen main learning pathways. The first micro-specialization pathway is the Domain Knowledge Analytics Project Management Learning Track. This is composed of 5 courses that will help learners train and acquire DSA project management skills. The second micro pathway is the Domain Knowledge Finance and Risk Track, which aims to teach learners exhibit knowledge and skills in combining statistical and machine learning tools to support decisions and derive insights from financial data. Next is the Domain Knowledge Human Resources pathway. This third track allows learners to leverage data in designing and improving recruitment and talent development processes. The fourth learning track is the Domain Knowledge Urban Planning pathway, which trains learners to use data in urban planning in relation to the Fourth Industrial Revolution and smart governance processes. The fifth pathway is the Operational Analytics Micro-Specialization. This directs learners to perform business analysis and present effective visualization of insights derived from data. The sixth pathway, called Research Methods, focuses on teaching learners to discover and create new knowledge and insights through data collection, analysis, and research. The Statistical Techniques Learning Track is the seventh SPARTA micro-specialization pathway. This prepares learners to apply statistical concepts and methodologies to data analysis. Scholars who want to learn basic data manipulation analysis and visualization using selected programming languages, tools, or software can enroll in the 8th micro-specialization pathway called Computing Learning Track. The 9th pathway, called Data Visualization, teaches scholars to create compelling reports, narratives, and insights using popular visualization languages and tools. SPARTA has also created the Data Governance Learning Track, composed of 5 courses. These train scholars to apply policy and measures to ensure data security, privacy, intellectual property rights, and ethics during all data lifecycle stages. Lastly, the 11th microspecialization pathway is called Methods and Algorithms. This track focuses on the implementation and evaluation of data analytics and machine learning methods and algorithms using various software and tools. Aside from the mentioned pathways and courses, we are also showing the 10 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation competencies, which serve as the foundation of the SPARTA courses and pathways. The first 4 competencies, from domain knowledge and application to data visualization and presentation, are business and organizational skills, while the succeeding 5 competencies are technical skills. The last competency is the 21st century skills, which is a workplace skill needed by the learners to develop a well-rounded and holistic training in data science and analytics. Since we want this opportunity to cater a wider group of professionals and aspiring ones, the project team ensures that qualification for the scholarship grant is simple. Eligible applicants must be Filipino citizens who are permanently residing or are currently based in the country. They must also be at least a senior high school student who may or may not have prior knowledge or experience in data science and analytics. Let us further discuss the project's second component, which is activation and engagement. This is composed of 3 objectives, which are the Smart Governance Portal or SGP, conference and hackathons, and workshops. Events such as conferences, hackathons, and open data challenges are conducted by the team to help local government units and other sectors of society come up with data-driven solutions that will address their problems and optimize their growth. The Smart Governance Portal serves as a central information source of SPARTA. It also houses datasets for research and development initiatives, project monitoring dashboard, and hackathon and open data registration mechanism. Should you be more interested about Project SPARTA and its initiatives, you can reach out to us via the following channels. Let us all unite in championing a data-driven ecosystem and a smarter future for our country.
So that was the Project Sparta Overview AVP, and please take note of your questions because one of the members of the Project Sparta team will be joining us later for the open forum. For the next segment, we will now learn the step-by-step process of registration and enrollment for those that are interested to be Sparta scholars. As well as the enrollment process for the micro-specialization pathways. For current call on our next speaker, she earned a bachelor's degree in education, major in values education from the Philippine Normal University in 2006. She is currently pursuing her master's degree in clinical psychology at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. She is both an educator and the instructional design lead for Course Bank, Ms. Jacqueline M. Sangalang.
Alright. Hi, Ms. Rox. Thank you for the introduction. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you,
Alright.
but I can't see that. Oh, there, I can see now.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Rox. And hi, everyone. Good afternoon. And it's nice meeting you all today. And I'm glad that I'm here to share with you the application and the enrollment process for Project Sparta. So allow me to share with you my AV presentation for the process. All right. May I request to give me an access for screen sharing? Thank you.
Hi, Jackie. I don't think we can hear anything if there's supposed to be sound.
All right. Thank you for letting me know, Miss Ross. I'll just repeat the presentation.
Hi! I see that you're interested in applying for a SPARTA scholarship. Here's how. First, create a course bank account. Go to coursebank.ph. Create an account by clicking Join Now. Fill out the necessary fields. Check the email used for the application for an account activation link from CourseBank. Verify and complete your account creation by clicking on Activate Your Account. Now that you've created and verified your CourseBank account, let's now apply for the SPARTA Scholarship. On your dashboard, go to the SPARTA page. Here, you can read more about the Project Sparta, the 6 main learning pathways, the micro-specialization pathways, and the course offerings. Click on Apply Now. Register to become a SPARTA Scholar. Fill out the information pages and submit the necessary documents. Eligibility requirements, scholar profile, education profile, employment profile, and training profile. Read, understand, and click on Agree to the honor code and scholarship terms and conditions. You may visit our help page for frequently asked questions regarding your application. You may also email us at learn@coursebank.ph to assist you with your application. Once you've submitted all the necessary documents, our CourseBank team will review your application and will notify you regarding your application status via email in 1 to 3 business days. Next, while waiting for the review, choose a learning pathway. On your SPARTA profile page, go to the Applications tab and click on Select Pathway. Select one main learning pathway from Data Associate, Data Steward, Data Analyst, Analytics Manager, Data Engineer, and Data Scientist. You may apply for another once you've completed your current pathway. You may check your application status via My Scholarship Programs tab. Once approved, courses under chosen learning pathway will be available for self-enrollment. Start with SB 101 Getting Grounded on Analytics as a prerequisite for the rest of the SPARTA courses. Click Enroll to start taking the course. We recommend taking one course at a time. Now, you can also apply for micro-specialization pathways. On the same SPARTA profile page, go to Micro-Specializations tab. This tab will only be available once you have an approved main learning pathway. Select from the available micro-specializations. Courses under chosen micro-specializations are also available for self-enrollment. how to obtain certificates from your main pathway, and micro specializations. For the 6 main pathways, you will need to take and complete a capstone course. If you've completed all courses including electives under your current pathway, request to enroll in the capstone course via Learner Support centralized form. For micro specializations, certificates will be issued by request through the SPARTA DAP portal. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to visit our help page or contact us at learnitcoursebank.ph. Good luck and happy e-learning!
All right. So I hope that presentation gives you an insight on how to apply for the scholarship and how to enroll to the courses that we have. And if you're already a scholar and you're currently taking courses under Project Sparta, as mentioned earlier, we already have the self-enroll feature on the Course Bank platform. We're no longer using the enrollment codes since it takes time for the codes to be generated for the thousand of learners. So right now, allow me also to share with you a guide on how to enroll to your courses. Right. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so these are simple steps on how to enroll to your courses. So if you are already a learner currently taking a certain course, for step one, you need to go to your dashboard and unenroll using the unenroll button. The next step is go to your Sparta profile page. Under my scholarship programs, select courses. And then step three, click enroll to get verified access to the course without enrollment codes. And lastly, on your dashboard or from the course outline, verify your identity using a webcam and a government issued ID so employers and schools know that you completed the coursework. So just to highlight the important details of the application, again, we have 4 eligibility requirements. We have the PSW for FPSW. For letter F, you must be a Filipino citizen. For letter uh, P, you must be permanently residing here in the Philippines. For letter S, you must be at least a senior high school student. And lastly, W, with or without knowledge on data science, you are still eligible to apply for the scholarship. So if you have questions about the application process, about Project Sparta, and how to complete or to enroll the courses, I highly suggest to visit our FAQ page where you can see the list of questions we received from our scholars and just click one question and then you will see a response to those questions already. And if you have other questions, I highly suggest to send your questions on the comment section and we'll try to answer them later. And I think that's it. Thank you for listening and I'll give the floor to Miss Rox and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Jacqueline. So Jacqueline will join us again later together with Dr. Lloyd for the open forum. So reserve your questions. Also, just a reminder, you can find us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Feel free to send in your questions there as well. So I know what we've heard so far is quite a lot of information to process. So for now, we will take a 5-minute break and we will see you after 5 minutes.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Welcome back, everyone, and I hope we all feel refreshed and ready for more information. So, could I please now call back our speakers, Dr. Lloyd Bautista and Ms. Jacqueline Sangalang, as well as the SPARTA Information Officer, CRV Kayabyab, for our open forum and to answer all your questions. So we've got Jackie, Dr. Lloyd, RV, is everyone here? I think we're just waiting on Dr. Lloyd. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for Dr. Lloyd to come through, just a reminder that there are no more course codes needed. You can self-enroll. And then also if you need more information on the program, which will be ending on November of 2022, you still have time. You can go to any of our social media websites as well as the main website. And please take note that if you are a current scholar, you can also take part in our live sessions to get through the course pathways faster. So, okay, since Dr. Lloyd is not here yet, maybe we can start now with some of the questions for RV and Jacqueline. So some of the questions we have, so SPARTA is expected to end this November. How can I motivate myself to finish my pathways and courses before this period? So maybe we'll start with Jacqueline and then we'll go to RV.
Right. So, how to motivate yourself? I think I suggest to find your intrinsic motivation, not just the extrinsic one. Like, for example, you want to get certificate because if you know your goal, why you want to learn data science and analytics, why you want to upskill yourself, why you want to learn more about this field, you will have more motivation to work hard, to manage your time, to balance your work and your studies, and it will help you to finish your courses.
RV. So RV is, she's on the back end of Project Sparta. Yung mga queries nyo, she normally is the one that replies. So RV, anong masasabi mong motivation for people to finish their courses?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And aside from sinabi ni Miss Jacqueline, yung find your intrinsic motivation, which is very important, you also have to keep in mind that you have to set a reasonable schedule or timeline. Keep in mind nga, nasabi nga natin, November 14, 2022 is the expected end of the project. So from now on, you have to plot your timeline up until kailan ko kaya matatapos ito. Because that will depend alam mo kung ano yung pacing mo as a person and that you can depend on that when you are creating your schedule or timeline. And then another one is to find a peer na kasama mo na nag-aaral. We have many of that sa ating community. So plug in lang po sa community Sparta PH. We have a lot of scholars there. You can join there and you can find support from your peers regarding their Sparta learning journey. You can find tips and motivation as well sa mga kanilang pinagpo-post. So ayun, set a reasonable schedule and timeline and find a peer to accompany you while taking your courses.
Thank you, RV. So we have a question here from the Ministry of Human Settlements and Development. How easy is it to shift courses from the main pathway to the micro-specialization pathway? RV, I think you can answer this one.
It is very easy po to shift courses from the main pathway to micro-specialization pathway. You just have to go dun sa Sparta profile ninyo sa course bank and then may tab doon na micro-specialization pathway. Just have to take yung courses under those micro-specialization pathway na gusto nyo. No need to request for parang shifting forms sa course bank. You can just go in there and click enroll dun sa courses under your chosen pathway.
Tapos Miss Jack. So this one, we had a few questions on this earlier in the program, but now it's been brought up again. So how easy is it to apply for the certificate? Do you have to undergo the same verification process every time you request for certificates? So ano na yung bagong mga updates on certificates in Course Bank?
All right. For the main pathway po, we still have the same process. You just need to complete your course and your certificates will be generated on your profile. And once you have completed your courses under your pathway, you need to request an access for the capstone course where you need to complete that capstone project and pass that project in order for you to get your certificate for your learning pathway. Meanwhile, for the micro specialization, once you have completed, once you have completed your courses under one micro specialization, um, you need to visit the sparta.edu.ph in order for you to uh, just click the certificate there, and then you can already generate your certificate for micro specialization.
So yun, ang galing ng Course Bank. Actually, pinadali na nila a lot of the processes. So we've listened to what a lot of the scholars have said. So parang self-enrollment, tapos yung generation of certificates, pinadali na. So swerte na kayo moving forward. So there's not a lot of bottlenecks in the process. So another question we have is, what future benefits await SPARTA scholars after they finish their pathways? So RV, masasagot mo to kasi we had this event recently. So pwede mo siyang i-plug, and also the upcoming events and things that are exclusive to SPARTA scholars.
So as stated nga by Miss Roxy, we had our career fair and online kumustahan. So that is exclusive to, hindi naman exclusive, but we highly encourage our Sparta scholars to attend this event. So one of that is the benefit na pagiging Sparta scholars ka, meron kang ganitong opportunity to actually be accepted, to actually apply for jobs related in analytics, sponsored by our industry partners. And aside from that, of course, alam na natin na yung usual na benefits is yung upskilling. Of course, you also have the ability na mapansin ka ng iyong managers given that you have new skills, diba? So in a way, this can also lead to promotion. At the same time, na-upskill mo yung sarili mo. And in this era of fourth industrial revolution, magiging sort of future-proof ka na amidst the change na nangyayari ngayon in terms of digitalization na kinakaharap natin ngayon.
Alam na alam ni RV lahat ng event. So, just to highlight, much like the partnership now with BARMM, we also have SPARTA has been very busy building partnerships with the private and the public sector. And in our recent job fair, I believe there were 50 or more. 50 or more jobs na naging available for Spartan. So they were able to do an online application to our partners. And then at the same time, we're constantly staying updated on our Sparta scholars. And we're happy to say that some have experienced promotions in their work. So okay na din to. Another question, is it possible to extend beyond November 2022 for the scholarship? Unfortunately, wala pa kaming clear answer for that, as the decision is out of our hands, but it's with a lot of people that are applying now and getting to know the program more, and a lot of people are seeing the benefits of it. We're hoping, our fingers are crossed, that DOST and the other partners would consider extending beyond November 2022. But until then, we do encourage, because there is still time to complete the pathways and get a certificate between now and November. So ayun. And then maybe there's another question for Ms. Jacqueline, who is always with us for these road shows. Where else can people look for potential collaborators on data insights or analysis? Do you have any recommendations, like communities that you know of or that are available that you've seen with CourseBank? Maybe you can share it with everyone.
Right. So if you are new, especially taking data science and analytics, for Project Sparta, we have community Facebook group page where you can collaborate with your peers, with different with other scholars. If you have some questions about a certain topic, you can collaborate with them, ask questions to the instructors, and you can also ask questions, or you can also share some insights that you have about certain topic on the discussion boards that we have. For each course, meron tayong discussion boards. Pwede kayo makipag-collaborate doon regarding the contents that we have for Project Sparta courses.
Okay, so this is a good question, and I think I'll direct this to RV because we're very aware. She's very aware of what's happening with the live sessions that have just been started. So, DAP Sparta initiated live courses for the basic courses. What do we expect from the live sessions, and how can we take advantage of this program?
Okay, so regarding our live sessions, this is a synchronous course discussion. So the content and the discussions will be presented by the SME or the subject matter experts during 2 to 3 hours via Zoom. So how can you take advantage of this? You just have to register and click the courses that you wanted to participate in. So meron kaming pinost sa aming Facebook page, sa aming social media pages na link and QR code where you can scan that, and then it will direct you to a form where you can click the courses that you wanted to participate in. And this live sessions will make your pathway completion easier. Kasi after you completed the live session, you will get a certificate once you accomplish an evaluation form. So madali lang din naman yung evaluation form. Just application of what you have learned doon sa ating live sessions. So please take advantage of this para po mabilis tayong makatapos ng ating pathway.
So just taking note of that, these live sessions, para siyang extra help for the Project Sparta scholars. So we had the first one yesterday and people were asking us for a replay or a reshare. Unfortunately, that's not what it's for. We will not be doing replays or reshares of the live session kasi parang it defeats the purpose. So when you do log into these sessions, we want you to be prepared, ready to learn, have the right tools to accomplish the live session for that day. Someone asked me a question: are all courses for data scientist pathway open already? I believe we're opening the last course, about course number 30 towards the end of the month. Is that correct, Jack?
Yes, Ms. Rox, the team is already working on. We're already preparing the last course for Project Sparta.
Yun.
And it will be expected to be open maybe at the end of the month or first week of August po.
Yes. So, ayun, I think we have answered all the questions that have been sent into us so far. If you have any other questions, feel free to message us on Facebook or on any of the social media pages. Again, also on the community notice board, community page. Feel free to post and get insights from our existing learners. So thank you so much, Jacqueline and RV, for joining me for this quick panel today. And to everyone else, again, if you have any questions, send them in after this. You can also replay this roadshow for additional information. So thank you. And to wrap up our event for the day and to deliver the closing remarks, may I call on none other than the DAP Vice President and SPARTA Project Lead, Dr. Alan S. Cajes.
Thank you, Roxy. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I hope my audio is good.
Yes, very clear, sir.
Thank you. So to our esteemed guest from the Ministry of Human Settlements and Development of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, the Ministry's Chief of Policy and Regulation, Mr. Abdul Hamid C. Alawi Jr., and the participants from BARMM-MHSD, so our course bank instructional design lead, Ms. Jacqueline Sanggalang, our SPARTA subject matter expert, Dr. Lloyd Bautista. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining our virtual roadshow, dear participants. Since SPARTA's formation in 2019, the project has attracted nearly 40,000 learners who are eager to create a data literate workforce. We continue to add to that growing number of scholars with the partnership we have forged last year with the BARMM Ministry of Human Settlements and Development. I express my gratitude to BARMM Ministry of Human Settlements and Development for being one in our objective to foster a community of analytics practitioners. And we commend you in taking the initiative to upskill your employees and your staff. We are proud to support your office as you strengthen your commitment to data science and analytics and moral governance, which is in line with SPARTA's own goal of fostering smart governance practices across the country. Your support and dedication to integrate data analytics and data science into your processes and workforce. These are crucial and aligned to our objective to achieve a thriving data-driven ecosystem in our country. We urge the BARMM-MHSD scholars and all our participants here today to take advantage of this rare opportunity to upskill and reskill ourselves. Enroll in our free online courses and attend the live sessions to optimize fully the resources made available to you by the Project Sparta team to assist in the completion of your main and micro specialization learning pathways. We also encourage you to participate in Sparta's activities and online community, as well as in other analytics initiatives from the Development Academy of the Philippines, the Department of Science and Technology, and be shared together with our partner organizations. The learnings you will gain from these activities will help you in further widening your understanding of analytics and data science and help you develop programs and projects that may aid not only your workplaces, but also your respective communities. Again, on behalf of our DAP president and the Project Sparta team, thank you for making time for us today and continuing to this, contributing to this successful roadshow. Let us all continue to work together and pave the road towards a smarter, data-driven Philippines. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Maraming salamat din po, Sir Alan. So thank you very much to all our speakers today. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the following officials from the BARMM-MHSD: Abdul Hamid C. Alawi Jr., the Chief Admin Officer; Janiza M. Makapantar, the Housing and Homesite Regulation Officer; Attorney Nasiha M. Mamarungkas, Attorney 4; Yasser S. Mama, Project Evaluation Officer; Salembai A. Abdullah, Information Officer 3. So before we end the program, may I ask everyone to fill out the feedback form flashed on your screen, and the link is in Zoom's chat box and in the comment section of Facebook. Reminder, the feedback form will only be open for 1 hour, and only those who fill out the form will receive a certificate. So since it's the end, I would like to ask everyone to switch on their camera for a quick photo session. And I will get RV to count us in when everyone's ready. So please put your cameras on so we can all take a photo. And everyone has to give their best smile. So RV, count us in, please.
Okay, so I think everyone's ready. On my cue, 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Miss Roxy.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, if you want to find us, just search Project Sparta PH. You'll find us there. You can communicate with us anytime. Send in your questions that you may not have been able to ask, and we will be happy to answer them. So once again, I'm Roxy Macasad of the DAP Project Sparta. Thank you, everyone. This has been the Sparta Online Roadshow for BARMM-MHSD.
Recording stopped.